It's been said, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So thank you for joining us for this midweek series. This is our first of several. As we begin our midweek series this Lent, seeing and learning together. We use that idea that, especially as we're in a culture that's just very visually stimulating, we learn a lot by what we see. When we think of billboards and messaging and signage and all those things in front of us every day, but certainly what we see impacts our preferences, our desires, our plans to purchase things, and in the same way, it can impact how we process our faith. And so we're thankful you're able to join us, especially it's kind of like a supplement if you couldn't join us for Wednesday night as we begin this Growing by Seeing midweek series this Lent. So what we'll do, it'll be pretty simple. I'm going to show you a series of 4 pictures. And as you're seeing the pictures, I want you to think of which one of the 4 resonates with you the most when you think of the theme, which picture conveys overconfidence. So as we cycle through these pictures, let's take a look, and no right or wrong answer, is just which one sticks out to you the most as expressing overconfidence. There are times in our life when certainly we have underconfidence, times we need that encouragement when we're not sure if we can do something, and somebody says, yes, I believe, you can go up there, you can read in front of worship, you can sing with the band or the choir, and then you end up doing it, and you're like, wow, thanks, they built my confidence. Certainly we know confidence in general is a healthy thing. It helps us be motivated, certainly to stretch us outside our comfort zone. That's how we grow, right? By building up more and more confidence. But there's a time when we go from underconfidence, someone builds us up, or experience of success builds us up to confidence. And at some point, having a strong level of confidence becomes overconfident. So as we're thinking of overconfidence, we think of the Gospel of Matthew, where Jesus is telling a parable of the kingdom being like the man, one who hears the word and builds his house on a stone, on a firm ground. But the other person doesn't hear the word or doesn't absorb it or do anything with it, and then he goes and builds his house on the sand. How many of us have had that experience, or had someone we know that thinks, oh, I'm fine, I'm a carpenter, I've built houses before, I know what I'm doing, even though sand is typically not that good, and even though it's close to the shore, and even though a storm is coming, I got this under control, right? That overconfidence starts to creep in a little bit. Another story, though, we mentioned from the Gospels this past Wednesday night was of Peter and Jesus when Peter tries to walk in the water. So the disciples out on the boat, it's dark, they're just trying to get to the other side, and suddenly they see what they think is a scary figure. They discover is Jesus walking across the water towards them. And Peter shouts out, Jesus, if it is you, call me out of the boat to walk towards you. Jesus says, it is me. And Peter gets out of the boat. He starts walking on water towards Jesus. But then he looks down, and the waves and the wind and the storm are picking up around him, and he becomes afraid, and he starts to sink and says, Lord, save me. Thankfully, the story is happily ever after. Jesus rescues Peter. What do you think of that story as being underconfident, a healthy level of confidence, or Peter being overconfident? And someone mentioned this past week that really the story isn't about confidence, but maybe it's about faith. So as we think this week and all the things we're looking at around us, when do we determine this is a confidence decision or this is a faith decision? There are times when confidence guides our decision-making and our choices, and there are times when faith guides our decisions. So when do we know which to do? Was this a confidence issue? Is this something just based on me and my skills and my abilities and the circumstances around me? Or is this a faith situation, which means we got to trust more on God than our own abilities? So as you look around your life this week, may we be aware of the times that we need to be confident, not be overconfident. But there's sometimes that confidence only gets us so far, and then we need to lean into our faith. So friends, may God bless you. Know God is with you and God loves you this week and always. See you next time.